So actually, speaking of someone like Maurus, obviously he was a great competitor when he was lifting. Is there anyone in the sport that you really look up to?
I mean, there's not really anyone specifically that I look up to, like one day I want to be this person, because I mean there's certain things that I take from each athlete, I suppose. I mean, the Chinese have amazing technique. I mean, it's super fun to watch the Chinese, but then so does like Nork Vardanian. He's got some of the nicest technique as well.
True.
And so it's like, I don't know, it's fun to have multiple like grab bags, I guess. It's a grab bag of things that are cool.
Do you consider yourself like also a fan of the sport?
Not really. I mean, if you say some famous weightlifter from the 80s or 90s, probably have no clue who you're talking about.
So what do you think your kind of strengths and weaknesses are, and what's your priority in training?
I've always had super strong legs. I mean, like weirdly strong for my weight.
And age? Yeah, like we heard that you squatted 200 when you were 13 and you were like 65-ish kilos.
So I've never been lacking in a squat surplus.
Yeah.
So those have always been good, but generally pressing strength, like military press or anything I can't use my legs in, is where I falter a little bit.
Your shoulders are pretty big though. Like that is actually surprising.
Yeah, I mean they're stable, but like I bench like 125, and like that's it, and that's like for 1 rep. So I mean, pressing strength it's not comparative to my leg strength.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Because wow.
Yeah.
So do you emphasize that in your training then?
If it's so much noticeably lower than leg strength, it's a place where I can obviously improve. I mean, if my pressing strength goes up, jerk stability is going to go up, snatch stability is going to go up, and it's going to help preserve shoulder health. So, we've been focusing on it. It's getting a little bit better.
I think that's something that will surprise a lot of people. Somebody that can behind the neck jerk 200 struggles with, possibly a 70 kilo strict press.
70, 80 kilos. 80 kilos is probably closer to what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
that sounds better.
Yeah.
80 kilos. That's true. I mean, we do so much overhead stability work. Like, I mean, I've yoke walked 200 for 50 feet. So
Overhead?
Overhead, yeah.
Oh,
overhead
Jesus.
yoke walked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I can get it overhead using my legs, it's not a problem. It's like if I can't use my legs, like
Yeah.
that's where it gets bad.
As far as your motivation, are there any rivals or competitors that fuel your motivation?
I like to look internationally, of course, like for a long time. But I mean, it wasn't ever realistic for me to chase anyone. Like when I was in the 77, it's like, oh, what did Lu Xiaojun do? Oh yeah, I'm never gonna touch that as a 17-year-old 77. So,
That's actually...
I mean, you can look internationally, but it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, they're kind of on a different playing field right now.
Are you looking more at youth, juniors, or just everybody?
So I mean, for a long time, it was like, okay, who are my youth competitors? And then once I beat all them, it's like, all right, who's in juniors? And then I'm working on going through them, and then obviously seniors as well. I was going after EHOB. That not being a fan of weightlifting in general, I have to figure out who my competitors in the 85 are.
This is awesome.
We'll figure that out. And then I'll be able to tell you who I'm chasing then. But for a long time, actually, I was really chasing CJ. Like, even though we weren't in the same weight class or anything, he had a high-end Sinclair. He was, like, the American weightlifter. So I was chasing CJ for a long time, trying to, like, gain the #1 U.S. male slot.
Yeah.
And, like, become a dominant force in youth weightlifting, at least. And I have actually finally done that. I think I'm actually ranked ahead of CJ now.
Now that you mentioned CJ, actually, yeah. So for a long time, like, I felt like he has been 15 forever or like 16 forever.
Yeah,
and people talked about him for a long time saying, oh, well, this guy's, like there was a Vice video that was like, oh, this guy's the next LeBron James of weightlifting or something like that, which is not really relevant. But yeah, like he's gotten a lot more attention than you. But like, I would say that your results are quite similar, like throughout.
Even back then, yeah.
Yeah, like even back then, like your results were quite similar, but he was just a lot more popular. Do you know why that was a thing? Personally, wait, before you answer, I was always your fan. To be clear. To be clear. But yeah, like I just didn't really understand why. Like he was getting a lot more hype than you were.
I don't know. I mean, he's been around in the sport longer than I have, obviously. I mean, I can't speak on how long he's been, but I've been in here for 6-7 years now. So he has to have 2 or 3 more on me. So he's already established himself as a weightlifter in USA Weightlifting. And he traveled to Worlds, I believe, in 2015. So he went to his first senior Worlds 2 years ahead of me.
Oh, okay, true. Yeah, and like weightlifting has really blown up since then, I would say.
Yeah, so he was like I don't know, it's all kind of culty, but he was a cult favorite, I suppose. But I don't know, I think it's fine. I'm cool with it. I'm cool that he gets more recognition than me. I mean, it lets me kind of focus on what I need to do. I mean, I don't think I'm under nearly as much pressure as he is. Yeah. He's got, I don't think I want to be under that much pressure either. I mean, I'll do weightlifting because I love weightlifting and because, you know, I want to make people, you know, excited about what I do, not because, you know, I have to.
Right. Yeah. Do you find that your popularity has increased a lot after the Worlds?
Among who? Among weightlifting? Sure. Among my friends at school? Hell no. They're like, I literally got the question, where have you been for 2 weeks? I was like, yeah, just in California lifting things. They're like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So, I mean, I don't know, weightlifters obviously understand, like, you know, that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But at school, in general life, it's not a well-known sport. I mean, you can say numbers like, yeah, clean and jerked 193 kilos, and it's like, that doesn't mean anything to anyone who's not lifted weights. Yeah, I mean, that's heavy. That's heavy weights. It's well over 400 pounds.
But 3rd place in the world, that should mean something to, you know, anybody.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like 3rd in the world, but in weightlifting, like, ooh, I mean, if you were like the 3rd best football player in the world, I don't even know if that's a thing. But I mean, it's like, cool. You're good at a niche sport. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully people understand weightlifting better. The sport in general. I think it's just a general lack of understanding that doesn't allow people to understand what's good and what's like.
Yeah, I think the thing is, just like at the highest level, people make it look so easy. So like people just don't get that. They're like, oh, this is super hard. Because you know when your 193 clean and jerk didn't look super hard, I was just like, oh yeah, I could probably do that. It's
or
like,
when Lasha snatches well over my clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Lasha snatches 220. I clean jerk 193. It's like awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like, it looks like, it's like, oh, like I could see someone else doing that. No one in the history of ever.
That's a heavy back squat, yeah.
So do you see weightlifting as a sustainable career for you?
Now I'm going out of high school. Like, I actually have to start thinking about, like, life. Like, that's a scary thing. I mean, sustainable, not long-term, not unless you coach. I mean, if you want to, like, stay only doing weightlifting, I think the best way to go about it is coaching. But I don't know. Actually, I'm trying to think about just an athlete who only does weightlifting. No one comes to mind. That's like actually an adult. So no, I'm gonna have to go to school. Have to go to college. I'm looking into becoming a doctor of osteopathic medicine. So eventually, I want to become a doctor, and that's what I want to do the rest of my life. So chiropractic work and all that.
So as far as the weightlifting goes, then what would you say is like your long-term plan? And I guess when would you know when it's time to transition to something else?
Obviously, weightlifting is like affected outside of my life. So I mean, I'm looking at going to UW Seattle just because it's home. I mean, I've already been accepted to places outside of Washington, but obviously I can't leave and go there. So I mean, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to train real hard for 2020. That's going to be the first real push for the Olympics. Is going to be the 2020 Olympics, and then after that, I mean, depending on how I do, depending on like where we're at as a sport in general, I might push again for 2024. I'll have to be going to college between leading up to 2020, and then finding time between 2020 and 2024 to like get my school done. So it's gonna be complicated.
So you plan on just kind of doing both at like alongside one another the entire time, eh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, I've been doing public school and weightlifting for years now. So what's college and weightlifting now?
Are you gonna take a reduced course load or anything, or full time?
I don't think so. I think I'll try to work classes around weightlifting or work weightlifting around classes probably. I think if I don't do college, I'll just get like cabin fever. I'll go a little bit crazy from weightlifting.
Oh,
I gotta be doing something else. I mean,
Destiny 3.
I was totally thinking that. I was gonna say Anthem's coming out. That one looks pretty cool.
oh yeah. Hopefully, I'm excited for that one. Hopefully it's good. I need a new game.
Yeah, that's actually so.
So kind of going along with that then. So if you're planning to go to college and taking full course load, how much are you training like at this point? And would you have to change that?
Right now I train once a day, 6 days a week for like 2.5 hours. Thursday I kind of take as like an active recovery day. So it's like yoke walks, farmer's carries, all the accessory stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
200 kilo yoke walks. That's my favorite recovery exercise.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, general strength exercise. So maybe recovery was the wrong word there.
Yeah.
But 6 days a week, 2.5 hours a day. So.
Cool.
Okay.
And eventually, in the summer when I'm not in school, we'll do 2 days.
Yeah.
So it'll be an hour in the morning, an hour and a half in the afternoon, to 2 hours in the afternoon. So. I love doing 2 days, man. They're super fun.
Sounds fun.
So much fun. Does Kevin still break your workouts into like kind of a snatch day and then a clean and jerk day?
Yeah. So Mondays are we normally snatch and back squat Monday, and then Tuesday is a power day. So we'll do power snatch, power clean, and some pulls. And then Wednesday is a clean and jerk day. So it'll be a higher volume clean and jerk day. With some front squats, and then Thursday is my non-recovery day. Recovery day, that's good. And then Friday is higher weight snatches with some pulls again, and then Saturday is high weight clean jerks.
Cool.
With more back squats. So it's like front half of the week is high rep, a little bit lower weight. Second half is high weight, a little bit lower rep.
Cool. Yeah,
and you can see that hopefully if Kevin publishes his book with MASH.
Cool. So do you know what your exact training volume is at a time? Or do you just let, I guess, Kevin worry about that?
I mean, before every time period, before competition, Kevin and I will sit down and plan out the cycle together for the next couple months. So we'll go through and be like, all right, what do you think works? Like, do you want to add snatch variations this day, or do you want to add them this day? It's kind of like, it normally ends up to be the same program every single time, but like with minor variations, it's never. Oops, sorry, she's getting real close. It's never drastically changed. So, but Kevin takes into account like how I feel and what I think works, and I don't know. It's not like he's like dictating what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like you did mention that it was like a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Between the two of you and. I guess a lot of coaches as well.
Yeah.
That's how I train best, yeah.
Does he prescribe, does he write out the percentages that he wants you to hit? Or do you guys kind of count the volume afterwards and then adjust going forward from there?
Yeah, so we'll have like a percentage range. So like, I don't know, I might have like 5 triples, like 75 to 85%. And I'll start at 75% and then I'll build up in weight as it feels good, or if it doesn't feel so good, I'll just stay there. It allows me to kind of, if I'm not having an awesome day, I can stay at the lower percentage range, but still get, enough volume in there. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so when you mentioned your general strength work, so other than your overhead yoke walks, what else are you doing? Like farmer's carries? Do you do any bodybuilding?
I've actually started benching to fix that little bit of an imbalance I got between pressing and leg strength. So we've started benching more. We'll do some dumbbell presses for shoulder health, and it's a lot of anti-rotation work actually. So I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but something we see in a lot of American weightlifters at least is a disparity between left and right side.